Greetings. Welcome to the Dr. J Vlog series. It's Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. On Wednesdays, we consider emotional well-being and relationships. Today's vlog deals with the issue of vacations. Do you need a holiday? Perhaps. Even if you love your work, as I do, everyone still needs to take some time off for a variety of different reasons. And many of us plan well in advance to take advantage of our vacation days. That's something I certainly recommend. My wife and I have done just that in order to be able to travel to Hawaii over the mid-February week off. It's a reading week from the respective colleges where we teach. Now, of course, weather and where you can go on holidays depends on a variety of factors: the nature of your jobs, your health, your personal and family resources, levels of paid support that your employers have. And these vary across countries along with a number of other factors. As you likely already know, though, the amount of time off can vary dramatically from one place to the next, and certainly from one country to the next. Austria ranks first with 38 paid vacation days, 25 paid vacation days that employees are required to take, along with 13 paid holidays, public holidays. France and Spain are tied for second with 36 days each, followed by South Korea with 31 and Germany with 30 days. Even other countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, and Iran have many work-free days too. In those three countries, they have 27 paid public holidays each year. But then we have the UK, Canada, USA triad. The UK offers the most, with which they have 28 required paid days off each year, on average, followed by Canada with about 20 days off annually. And the US has a wide range of days off, typically linked to the length of employment, how long you've been with the company, the organization. The average seems to be somewhere around 15 paid days of leave per year. What's more remarkable, I find, in the US is the degree to which many folks don't even take full advantage of their time off, with almost half not using all of their paid vacation, and about 3 in 10 forfeiting their time off altogether. So, and then even if you do take holidays, there's the issue of, are you still thinking about work? Are you still worried about it? And the research seems to indicate that about half of the vacationers in the United States still continue to worry about their work to some extent while they're on vacation. So we intuitively all know that some vacation times, it's good for us, it's necessary. And all of the research clearly points to the importance of having a true break from our regular work schedules. It's not absolutely crucial to travel somewhere for your vacations. You can have a staycation and just relax and hang out at your homes and basically do whatever you want for a week or two. That'll work, in many instances just as well. Of course, it may be the only option if you're, strapped financially and so forth. But the point is that the benefits are quite compelling for your mind, for your body, for your soul. And in fact, I'm going to summarize mainly some of the evidence and the discussion in a brief article by Rebecca Zucker, which was published in the Harvard Business Review back in 2023. So I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to access the original article. But she talks about these three different phases or different aspects, the mind, the body, and the soul, and how vacations then can enhance our well-being along each of these three areas. So in terms of the mind, almost any of us, we will suffer cognitive impacts if we are overwhelmed with our work schedules, with our actual daily grind. We are subject to cognitive fatigue. We are subject to having difficulties in terms of concentrating, forgetfulness, impaired problem solving, and so forth. So vacations then can afford us the chance to have a well-deserved and well-needed rest the relaxation, and everything else that can enhance our ability to improve our sleep, both qualitatively and quantitatively. As a result, and with improved sleep, our minds become less cluttered, we think more clearly, and we tend to be more creative, or at least inspired, to move beyond our sort of conventional thinking. And of course, research shows that even regular cardio activities outside of work, merely taking a walk, even on a treadmill, all of these things increase your creativity significantly. So even in the absence of vacations, having regular cardio built into your daily routine or every other day can enhance your well-being considerably. And of course, one never knows what you might imagine or the huge breakthrough in your creative or your personal life in general as a result of taking some time off. In her article, Zucker talks about how Lin-Manuel Miranda conceived of Hamilton while on holiday. He says, "It's no accident that the best idea I've ever had in my life, perhaps the best one I'll ever have in my life, came to me on vacation." He goes on to state that the moment my brain got a moment's rest, Hamilton walked into it. It's a great little anecdote. So taking and even just planning for a vacation can improve your mood. Many people suffer from significant sleep deficits or sleep debts that often come as a result of our work-related stress and anxiety. Now, the optimal amount of sleep that people require clearly varies from one person to the next, and with some crazy folks like myself only needing, apparently, or able to get only about 6 hours of sleep or less for some people. In my case, it's certainly not a brag. It's a perpetual source of frustration, quite frankly, because for the past, I don't know, at least 30 years, I've only been able to sleep a few hours at a time. So typically I'll sleep maybe 3 hours, wake up, and then be up for another hour or two, and then try to get back to sleep to capture another 2 or 3 hours if possible. So if I can do that and get 5 to 6 hours of sleep in a given night, I feel like that's a success. So, but interestingly, if I'm on holiday, I can sometimes, quite often, sleep for up to 6 hours straight. And boy, what a difference that makes for me, at least. And so I've learned over the years to try to increase the amount of time spent away on vacation uh, as a well-being enhancer, sometimes almost as a survival mechanism. So anyway, but perhaps you sleep better as well away from work. And if that's the case, you want to be able to, again, maximize the time spent on holidays as a complement to your regular work schedule. And obviously, if you suffer from serious sleeping problems in general and suffer from a persistent deficit, then you know that that's going to have some negative effects. And again, if possible, seek help. There are sleep clinics, there are medications that can assist, counseling, therapy, etc. But in any event, so the point is that we need our sleep, and vacations often allow us or help us to reset our clocks and to be able to get better sleep, etc. Now, again, the research shows that the absence of good sleep, regular sleep, and quality sleep can result in negative moods, sadness, anger, frustration, irritability, and all of that can result in greater difficulties with sleeping. So there's this sort of a circular nature that leads to longer term problems. And indeed, if you do suffer from sleep deficits over an extended period of time, you run the risk of compromising your health and even potentially increasing the likelihood or the risk of dementia later on. So the holiday option provides the opportunity to reduce the sleep deficit. According to the American Psychological Association, even 60 to 90 minutes of sleep and additional sleep each night can improve our memory and concentration significantly. Vacations allow us then to reset our sleep patterns, to improve our mood and cognition, even in the short term, but also after the holidays have ended as well. Indeed, the research has shown that the holidays in general increase our positive emotions and reduce depression. And then the enhanced sleep facilitates clearer thinking and productivity upon your return as well. One study found that for every additional 10 hours of vacation time that employees took, their year-end performances improved by an almost measurable amount, of about 8% as well. Another study showed that using all of your vacation time increases your chances of getting a promotion or a raise. And those who go on holiday more often are also less likely to leave their firms or their companies. And indeed, one final company looked at this experiment of mandating vacation time. And when they did that, they forced all their employees to have vacation time or a fixed amount of time. They, again, demonstrated increased productivity, creativity, and happiness and overall mood. So, and they were also able to neutralize that martyr mentality, whereby employees might want to try to, or they might be tempted to kind of show off how hard they're working by not taking vacations, since everyone was indeed required to take regular holidays at specified intervals. Okay, so what about the body then? Well, everyday work pressures can elevate our levels of stress hormones like cortisol and epinephrine, similar to how you feel if you're in physical danger. An increase in stress hormones has the effect of suppressing your immune system as well. So, a relaxing vacation ideally can reduce the levels of these stress hormones and allow your immune system to recover as well. Conversely, if the stress hormones remain elevated on a chronic basis due to a lack of rest and recovery or a lack of vacations, you're going to be more susceptible to colds, to the flu, and even vulnerable to more serious illnesses like heart disease or cancer. In a study of 749 women, the researchers found that those who took vacations less than once in every 6 years were 8 times more likely to develop heart problems compared to those who went on vacation twice a year. And then going on vacation does lower your chances then of dying of coronary heart disease. And thankfully, the evidence points to things like lower blood sugar levels and improved cholesterol. Again, just from taking regular vacations makes a huge difference. And then, depending on the nature of the vacation, some have additional physical benefits. Being in nature has the effect of reducing your heart rate and blood pressure. The physical activities such as hiking and biking or swimming, all of these improve your heart and respiratory health while building stronger bones and muscles and improving your balance, which becomes especially important when you get to be my age. Massages are a great form of relaxation too, with physical benefits that include improved circulation, flexibility, immune responsiveness, and decreased muscle stiffness and joint inflammation. Finally, vacations can impact us profoundly on a deeper, more spiritual level, if you will. One might argue quite simply that the holidays are good for our souls. By removing ourselves from the daily hustle and bustle, we can tune out the external noise and focus on our inner or true selves, whatever that might mean to us. What parts of your emotional and spiritual life and being require more attention, or what's been neglected, we might say? How might you reacquaint yourself with who you really are? Or find the proverbial happy place that we sometimes talk about. Billy Crystal talked about that in City Slickers. He needed this break, this vacation to find his happy place. Speaking of which, he probably chose the wrong vacation option for that particular film. Okay, so our happy place then usually refers to the place where we can genuinely relax, let go of our daily pressures and worries, find a genuine sense of peace. It's here that we can express ourselves and our values unencumbered, whether through adventure, learning, or beauty, and do that which brings us joy. We're far more likely to find that if we have the time, the space, and stillness that eludes us in our daily routines, we can enhance our creativity, we can enhance our general happiness and well-being. And then we can perhaps even strive to bring more of that calm into our regular routines as we reintegrate, re-enter the workforce after we've been on holiday. We might hone our abilities then to listen to our inner voices and sharpen our senses more in terms of what we truly value. Again, there's no universal menu from which we all feed ourselves the same foods. And metaphorically, when we're talking about the holidays and what we might need, the sustenance might, well, it will indeed vary from one person to the next. And so for some, that might involve sport and adventure. Others might prefer languages and the arts. Some might like to immerse themselves in nature through camping, or watching the sunset from the beach, or doing the famous El Camino pilgrimage. Others just like to travel, just for the sake of traveling, for the fun of seeing new places, or just meeting new people. So again, you can pick whatever preferences or follow that which your heart desires. But the bottom line is that a successful vacation should allow us or help us to realize our authentic selves, allow us to shed some of the defensiveness and the protective veneers that we use even upon our return to work. We should ideally then have more positive energy to redirect in terms of our tasks, in terms of our daily initiatives. We should have an enhanced sense of focus and a renewed energy. And so there are a great many short and long-term benefits that result from successful vacations. And in that regard, you have to recognize too that if you do get back in touch with yourself and you reconnect with your values or that authentic self, you may come to the conclusion that in some cases, maybe you're not in the right place in life, or maybe you're not in the right job as such. You might not want to continue with your previous job or that previous life. Again, that's not necessarily the case. I'm not asking you to do that. But for some people, that may be the net result. They might realize, well, you know what? Why have I been struggling so much? Well, there may have been this persistent disconnect between our values and sense of self and that of the organization or the company that we're working for. And so that's not a bad thing if you decide to move on and in those more extreme circumstances, right? Because it actually might be more expensive and create more negative effects for the company if you stay as the person who's disengaged and disgruntled rather than the person who actually puts in their notice to resign their position or to quit their jobs. So, in conclusion, everyone stands to win if we take some time off. Employees benefit mentally, physically, and spiritually from vacations. And these benefits should ideally extend in large measure to their families as well, again, depending on your individual and your family circumstances. And that, of course, can have additive benefits down the road. And then the employers will reap the rewards of happier, more relaxed, creative, and committed employees. So, take some time off. Take advantage of your holiday time or a break from your usual routines like doing a vlog series. Seriously, you're worth every minute away. You're worth it, in terms of yourselves, in terms of your employers. I'm sorry, and you'll almost never regret taking that break. Okay, unless you're Wally Pip, who 100 years ago took off just one day from work on June 2nd, 1925, because he had a migraine headache. Not unreasonable. So he'd been the regular first baseman for the New York Yankees for most of the past decade. But then he called in sick that fateful day, which unfortunately in his case resulted in Lou Gehrig starting at first base instead. And once Lou Gehrig got into the lineup and started at first base, he continued to start for the next 2,130 consecutive games. So about the next, 15 seasons or so. And Wally Pipp never really played. He played just a few more games with the Yankees. He did play a little bit more for about 3 more years with Cleveland, or no, sorry, with Cincinnati, um, and then he retired. But basically, yeah, you got to be careful if you do call in sick, especially if there's some up and comer who's going to take your position. But I suspect that's relatively rare. So, speaking of retiring, I think I should retire now for the evening. Time to restart my own little vacation here in the Aloha State. So until next time, may you and yours continue to create peace in your lives and nurture love in your hearts. See you soon.